Ja, så er vi ved at være klar til dagens sidste oplægsholder. Vi har Stephan Spencer på besøg, som vil fortælle os nogle utroligt spændende ting, som jeg har i hvert fald glædet mig til at høre rigtig meget om. Og han har taget et par bøger med, som han sælger herude til cirka halv pris, og efter vi er helt færdige, så vil der også være mulighed for at få en lille autograf, hvis man skulle få lyst til det. Men det bliver solgt lige herude, og der er mobile pay, så man overfører bare nogle penge, og så kan man få et bog til cirka halv pris. Så værsgo, Stephan.
All right, thank you. Hi. That's the extent of my Danish. So let's get everybody participating. Hi. Hi. Okay, good. So you still are kind of sleepy, so I'm going to wake you up. So let's stand up. See, you should have participated earlier. All right, so here's what we're going to do. This is a little breathing exercise. I learned it from my wife, who learned it from Nam Yoga. It's just going to take a moment, and it's going to really energize you. So I'm just going to explain it first, and then we'll do it. First thing is we're going to breathe in, and then we're going to breathe in some more, okay, and then a little bit more, and then we're going to tap, 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 okay, and then let it out. Ready? Here we go. Breathe in. A little bit more. A little bit more. Tap, tap, tap. Keep holding it. Keep holding it. One more time. Breathe in. One more time. A little more. A little more. Can't believe I'm making you guys do all this. All right, you can sit down. Who feels more energized after that? Isn't that good? I feel so awake now, and I'm still in the U.S. time zone. So what we're going to do here is we're going to make this interactive. I'm going to make you guys participate as much as we just did. But I have some promises. I'm going to deliver for you something that I think is going to radically change your business and how you operate in your business, whether you're agency side or client side. I'm going to teach you the 4 critical elements for the perfect keyword strategy. And as part of doing that, we're going to walk through those, and I'm going to do some live demos. I know it's a little bit, dicey to get up on stage and present needing a live internet connection and for all the tools to work, but we're going to make sure that that delivers for you. So by the end of this session, you're going to get what you paid for from the entire conference just from this session. That's my goal. That's my goal. That's my aim. And if you're going to be here, which, look at you guys. This is a packed room. In fact, I need to take a selfie from stage here. It's always good evidence that I actually was here. So if you guys could all smile. Look at you guys. Great. All right. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. See, I did that early. Okay, now I want an action shot. So, do something. Right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Yay! Okay, thank you. That was good evidence. Okay, so I want you to play full out. I want you to participate. And part of participating is retaining this information, having the intention to retain this information. And here's a secret. This will help you to retain at least 90% of what you learn from this session, from any session. Typically, it's at best maybe in the 30% range, 30, 35. But what if you had the intention of teaching this content to others? So think of somebody who is either in your business or in your family who would really benefit from learning all these amazing keyword research techniques, tools, tactics. Okay? So everyone got somebody in mind? Like for me, for example, I was teaching my oldest daughter how to do SEO at 14 years old, and she created her own online business, passive income, by doing SEO and blogging. She had a passion for Neopets, the virtual pet site. Who's heard of Neopets? Anyone? Yeah. All right, so it was very, very popular back in the day, tens and tens of millions of users, and she was super passionate about it, and she turned that into cash by creating a blog and then doing SEO to that blog, and she ranked on page 1 for Neopets. Not a small feat. And then she got to speak at conferences, and then she got on the news, and newspapers, on TV, and so forth. So maybe there's somebody in your family that you'd like to inspire and to empower with this kind of knowledge. Maybe it's a colleague, maybe it's a boss, maybe it's somebody who's a direct report. Who's got somebody in mind? Excellent. Okay. So that's 90+% just by having that intention. And we did this nice breathing exercise ahead of time, so you guys are primed. Before I ask, before we dive into the content, I'm going to tell you just a little brief ditty about myself, but I wanted to find out about you guys. So before, who am I? How about who are you? So who's agency side? Okay. Cool. And who's client side? Okay. Who is a beginner at SEO? Okay. Who's very advanced at SEO? Nice. Okay. Welcome to the club. And who's intermediate? Okay. And who does not speak English? That would be a problem for this session, at least. Okay. Cool. So I am an SEO expert. I've been around forever doing SEO. It's actually like 20 some years. I've been doing SEO since the 90s. I started Net Concepts, an agency, in 1995. I sold it in 2010. I still do consulting, SEO stuff primarily, but I also write books. I have 3, in fact. Working on two more. These are my books. Who's familiar with that one? The Art of SEO. Yeah. This is a beast. This is the Bible on SEO. It's 1,000 pages. Who wants this book, by the way? Like, who wants it enough to come and get it? Like, seriously, who wants it enough to come and get it? Well, come on, come and get it. Yeah, it's free. You're welcome. See, fortune favors the bold. If you're not willing to take the prize, then just keep sitting. Google Power Search. This one is all about how to find anything on Google. Confidential business plans for your competitors, Forrester research reports that cost thousands of dollars normally, all sorts of stuff. I've even found files with credit card numbers and expiration dates. No, you won't find that in this book, but all the other stuff you will. Who wants this one? No? Nobody? Okay. Seriously? Enough to come and get it? Come and get it.
Yeah, the women are getting it.
Yep. All right. And this one has nothing to do with SEO. This is, enjoy, there you go, Google Power Search. This one's social e-commerce, okay? And this one's about social media and how to drive sales through social networks, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, LinkedIn, et cetera, et cetera. Anyone want this one? All right. Well, you gotta walk fast if you want it. All right. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. So, and by the way, the cover of Google Power Search is different now because that's a brand new edition, just hot off the presses. And there are some more copies. I brought them actually in my luggage. They're out there at the author discount, so it's quite a good deal, and no shipping. So I'll do a book signing after the Give It Up panel at the very end. So those are my books, and okay, these are my podcasts. Who's into podcasts? Anyone? Yes. All right. So new subscribers. So this one's marketing speak. It's not just SEO. It's also Facebook advertising, conversion optimization, AdWords, analytics, all sorts of cool stuff. Great episodes, and the whole show is fantastic. But I've had people like Jay Abraham, the godfather of marketing, on this show. I've had Dan Kennedy, who's like the godfather of direct mail and copywriting. So it's really a fantastic little education on online marketing and SEO on this podcast. And then I have one more that I'll share with you that's worth knowing about, and that's the Optimized Geek, which might sound like an SEO podcast, but it's not. This one is a biohacking, life hacking podcast. It's all about how to extend your life another 50 years, how to biohack your biology. Like, for example, I'm wearing this thing. This is an Oura ring, which tracks my heart rate, my sleep. It tells me how much deep sleep I'm getting. Isn't that cool? So if you're into biohacking, if you're into life transformation type stuff, have Byron Katie on. It's just it's a fantastic show. So those are little plugs on some cool things that you can learn from. And of course, I've created lots of keyword strategies over the years for many, many clients, hundreds of clients, companies like Chanel, Zappos, Sony, and I'm going to share some of those secrets with you so that you can apply these in your business. So wouldn't you like to have the same kind of secret formula that those big companies have? So here's what we're going to cover. We're going to cover the 4 key elements, which are the right and the wrong keywords, the types of searches that will get you the right kinds of results and which ones won't, and knowing your target market, and then finally the actual keyword research tools and techniques that will get you the hard data that you're going to need. So what are the right and the wrong keywords? What are the right keywords? Well, those are the ones that are popular with searchers. Okay, they're actually getting some search volume. They're also relevant to your business. And finally, they're attainable. You can achieve a page 1 ranking for those keywords, ideally in the top few positions, because even just being below the fold in the organic results is just death to clicks. So those are the 3 key ingredients to the right keywords. But what are the wrong keywords? The wrong keywords are, here's a great example. You'll see that home loans is just at like essentially 0 practically. Nobody's searching for home loans. Everybody's searching for mortgage. Okay? And yet my client, my previous client, Westpac Bank, large bank in Australia and New Zealand, would not use the word mortgage anywhere on their website. In fact, they were prevented by using that keyword on their website. Yes, by the legal department. Surprise, surprise. The legal department, also known as the Business Prevention Department, said that no, we do not offer the mortgage. That is a legal instrument. We offer the home loan, so therefore you should use home loan on your website and not mortgage. What? Yes, so they pretty much destroyed the ability of my client to do business online. So that's an example of the wrong keyword. Here's another great example of the wrong keyword. It's from another client, past client, Kohl's department stores. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're pretty big. And they were targeting kitchen electrics. I'm like, this is not a good keyword. Nobody's searching for kitchen electrics. Has anyone used the word kitchen electrics in a sentence ever? Like anyone? No one, right? I always ask in the audiences and nobody raises their hand. Someday I'm expecting a Kohl's department store executive to be in the audience and raise his or her hand. So kitchen electrics, they were ranking number 1 for, but what to what end? So it's completely useless. Kitchen appliances, kitchen small appliances, those are the sorts of keywords that have the volume. Nobody's searching for kitchen electrics, for Pete's sake. So what about the second element to success with keyword research? That's the types of searches. And there are different ways of slicing and dicing your keyword list, your keyword portfolio. And of course, you want to think of your keyword portfolio as something that's dynamic, that's always changing, that you can evolve over time. Just like your AdWords keyword portfolio, you're optimizing your SEO keyword portfolio as well. Removing keywords that aren't performing, adding keywords to test them out, trying to get non-performing keywords to perform. It's a dynamic field. So one way of slicing and dicing this keyword portfolio is by informational, navigational, and transactional searches. Okay, so makes sense, right? So that's one way of bucketing these different keywords, and that's helpful. Another way that I find even more helpful is to look at the funnel or the buyer journey. If somebody's early on in the buyer journey, sure, you could also consider that an informational keyword, but if they're in the beginning phases, if they are just trying to do research, maybe they're at the very beginning of the funnel. And you can do awareness type of keywords in that part of the funnel. Let me give you an example. So let's say that you sell baby furniture. Okay, so you're selling baby furniture, and the obvious keywords, the transactional ones that you're targeting: baby furniture, baby bassinet, baby crib, baby cribs, cribs, etc. But what about if you go earlier in the buyer journey, before they've decided that they want a crib or what type of crib? They're just trying to figure out, what are they trying to figure out? Put yourself in the position of a new expectant parent. They just found out they're going to have a baby. What are they looking for first online? What do you think? Yeah?
Yeah, asking
What they need, okay. Even before they're thinking, what do I need for the baby? What else are they thinking? Inspiration, sure. Advice, okay. There's something they're trying. There's a mission they have to do. So let's say that, I'll give you a hint. Let's say that they find out through the ultrasound that it's going to be a boy. What's the first thing they do after that? Naming, yes. Baby names is massively popular as a search query in comparison with baby crib or bassinet or baby furniture. Now granted, not everybody who is searching for baby names is going to be a potential buyer for you, but most of them will be. Right? These are expectant parents that are searching for baby names. So this is a perfect example of going higher up in the funnel, earlier in the research phase. And now how do you convert somebody who did a search for baby names? They're on your website. You had to create content for baby names, right? So most unusual and cute baby names and baby names you don't want to name your kid because he or she will certainly get beat up on the playground. All these sorts of great lists and so forth. You're creating content that brings them in. But what else are you going to do to sell them, to move them into your part of the buyer journey where they're actually going to buy from you? Any ideas on how to do that?
Sign up for a newsletter.
Sign up for a newsletter? Okay, who clicks on that little button that says sign up for our newsletter? Anyone?
Promise them something.
Well, okay, what do you promise them?
Like a free ebook, the 10 best advice for you.
Exactly. So a free ebook, some sort of lead magnet, 10 free whatever. So what would be a good example of a lead magnet that would get people who are your audience, the expectant parents, to opt in? Any ideas? Yeah. Discount codes, maybe. You had an idea?
How the 10 favorite names for a boy or girl.
Okay, best names for boy or girl, but you're already providing that content for free.
Something when they discuss what the baby should call.
So maybe like a planner of some sort for naming your baby. Great. Right. So what if you had the essential nesting checklist? Let's say 30, 25 things that that will help you to create the perfect room for your baby. See, now you've got something that is relevant to your business. These people are self-selecting, and it's a very great ethical drive, I think. Right? So you could provide something around naming, sure, but if you provide something around the essential nesting checklist, now you are influencing the buying criteria. Isn't that powerful? Because they're in research mode, they have not figured out yet what the criteria are to buy the products that they need for the baby's room, or even what products to buy. Do they even need a bassinet, or can they go straight to buying a crib? You can influence that behavior. Isn't that powerful? So the beginning of the funnel, awareness, that's a ripe opportunity for you guys. Consideration, hopefully by then you have influenced their buying criteria, so they're considering, they're using a matrix or a grid of attributes that you have given them. And you know that you're going to be number one for all those things, right? Isn't that powerful? And then finally the purchase and eventually retention, where they are going to buy more from you, refer you to their friends. Okay, another way to look at your portfolio is looking at the long tail, right? So you have head terms, you have torso terms, and you have the long tail, which is very, very long. And that includes lots of keywords that are very small in volume, but they tend to have pretty good pretty good click-through rate maybe, but the buyer intention is higher. Right? If somebody includes a model number, they've done their research, they probably have their wallet out. So I like the long tail, even though the volumes are small, in aggregate they can add up to a significant amount of business. So if you're doing long tail searching, I'm going to show you some tools. We're going to look at, for example, SEMrush and Searchmetrics. We can get hundreds of thousands of keywords of our competitors that we can then mine for which ones are relevant, popular, and attainable for us, which ones are, for example, we could look at featured snippets that we can steal from our competitors. Right? So these are great keyword lists that we have at our disposal using some of these tools. Element number 3 is knowing your target market, really understanding what makes them tick. Like that example where these expectant parents, you're trying to influence their buying criteria, you need to understand them from the inside out, like know them intimately. When you know your target audience intimately, then you have the ability to read their minds, right? So first understand who your customers and prospects are, and then everything else will fall in line. You need to understand them as people. So how would you do this? Well, one example is if you just digged into the demographics, the psychographics, the clickographics, the sociographics of all of these users. That's interesting. But you can also do focus groups. Who's ever done a focus group? You could all do focus groups. That's a very small number, and what I expected it was, at least half of you. There's a whole chapter dedicated to doing an impromptu, very inexpensive, like under $100 sort of focus group in the book by Steve Krug, Don't Make Me Think. Who's ever read that book? Great book. So go to that chapter and reread that about focus groups. You can do it for $50 even. You should all do focus groups. Even if you're just a solopreneur or an individual practitioner and you don't have a big company, you don't even have an LLC or whatever it's called over here, you can totally do a focus group. Another thing that you want to do is surveys, right? And personas. I have a great example of how far you can take this as far as developing personas. Who's developed a persona or a set of personas? Awesome. So let me give you an example. I don't remember if it's Nike or it's Adidas. It's one or the other. They have a room where they have life-size posters of the avatars, the personas that they're targeting. And in this room, they're targeting teens. And not only do they have a life-size poster of each persona, they have the locker of that person. Like the school locker, where you open up the locker door and you see they've decorated the inside of it. You see the books that are in there. Isn't that cool? You can see how they, like what sports they play, because the gear is in there. Their outfit for after school, their book bag, everything's there. You can get inside their heads, get inside their world. Because what the problem is what we do is we tend to look outward from our point of view. Instead, we need to step outside of ourselves and view the world as them. So think of this as like there's this wall of context between you and the other person. You have to climb that wall of context and get in their world and make sure not that you get them. That's not good enough. You have to make sure that they feel gotten by you. Think about that for a second. If they do not feel gotten by you, none of it counts. There's no relatability. There will be no sale. There's nothing. There's no relationship. So you got to immerse yourself in their world. See the world from their perspective, and what a great way to do this is to have life-size posters in their lockers right there. Who's done anything to that kind of degree in terms of persona development? Yeah, what have you guys done?
So we ask some of our former clients and clients.
Yep.
What are the problems? What could be solved and so.
Okay, great. So you ask your clients, your past clients and current clients, what problems that they have and what kind of solutions they've found and how. Yeah, great. Who's done something else, like even more advanced? Okay, so looking into what problems your prospects and clients and past clients have is a great way to create documentation for your website to solve their problems, to eliminate their buyer objections. So that's more a conversion side of things. So let's say problems we solve, that's a great document to have on your website. Who has that? A problems we solve page? Nobody. You all need to have that. These are the problems we solve. And then to have a little detail about each one. All right, who has a frequently asked questions page on your website? Okay, and who actually has queried your prospects and current and past clients to find out what their buyer objections were so that they can address those in the frequently asked questions and elsewhere on the website? Who's ever asked what their buyer objections were? Okay, you all need to be raising your hands. This is really like basic stuff that is going to move the needle for your business. See, once you've identified, let's say, the top 7 things that the 7 major criteria or issues that have caused somebody to not buy from you. You're too expensive. It doesn't look like you have a physical address and like you might be a fly-by-night business. Whatever these reasons are, you need to know what they are and then address them. So let's say that you don't have pricing on your website. Who does not have pricing on their website? Okay, so raise your hand high so I can really see. Like, okay, that's a decent number of you. I'm in that group. But I need to have an answer on a frequently asked questions page and other places on the website, because one of the top things is, one of the top objections for hiring me is, Stephan, you're too expensive. Well, the value is high, and it's a bargain when compared to the ROI, and I need to address that when people have that objection and it's not on the website. Okay, so even if I'm not willing to put the price on there, at least I'm willing to go into some detail about why I don't have the price there and what kind of ranges, like how does it work when you buy from me versus my competition. Okay, so frequently asked questions, problems we solve, who we're not a fit for. Who has a page like that? Who are we not a fit for? Anyone? You all need to do this. Write this down. This is part of your homework for next week. Who we are not a fit for. This page will help you to weed out all the tire kickers, all the time wasters. And the people who are on the fence, when they read that, they'll think, wow, this company knows what they're doing. They're committed. I actually want to work with them. Right? So let's say one of the criteria on that page for my site is that if you're not serious about implementing my recommendations, we're not a fit. If you're not committed to your success, to actually getting the ROI, if all you want is an audit that you're going to put on the shelf, we're not a fit. How powerful is that? Okay, so let's keep moving. I got to make time here for the reviews of these different different tools. Okay, so what other pain points? Think about this. If you had a 4 forces sort of diagram, so this would be 4 quadrants. You just draw a horizontal and vertical line, so horizontal and vertical, and you'd have 4 quadrants. Those 4 quadrants would be based on these criteria. So on the horizontal axis, you're going to have, let's see, past and future. Not past, like immediate future and far future. So that's now / immediate future and then far future. Okay, and then on the top axis, on the vertical axis at the top, you're going to have moving towards and moving away from. So then you're going to have, basically it looks like this. If they have wants, those are immediate. So that goes in the quadrant over on the side where it's now. If they have fears, those are future. And they're moving away from those. So that goes in the quadrant of in the future and away from. If it's an aspiration, that's something they want, and it's in the future. And then if it's a frustration, that's a now, and that's away from. So if you have copy that you've done all your keyword research, and you've identified the pain points, and you know what are the frustrations that are now, here and now sort of problems that they're moving away from, and what are the fears that they have that are not right now, but they could come to pass sometime later on, as well as the wants and the aspirations. Now you've got all 4 of those quadrants hit with the copy that you wrote on your page. You nailed it. Has anyone heard of this process before? It's called the 4 forces. It is so powerful. And most people only hit one. They're talking about the fears, but they're not talking about the frustrations, or they're talking about the frustrations and they're not talking about the long-term fears. Or they're talking about the wants, but they're not touching on the aspirations, or they're not touching on the fears either. Do all 4. So understand their pain points, what drives them, and then you want to extend or expand that gap between where they are now in the pain and where you're going to take them in the future. Okay, so expand that gap. Accentuate that gap so they feel the pain. Put them in the pain. Like poke them with that pain. It's like, oh, you recently, went bankrupt. Wow, that really sucks. And then you really go into like a story about how badly that sucks. Like really accentuate that. Well, there's a way out. There's a way to still get credit even though you're bankrupt. Okay, so pain points. And then there's this thematic mapping that I want to quickly show you. Most people think of this when they think of their site. Site structure, home page, category pages. Like for example, the about page would be at a secondary level. So that'd be a secondary page, and then maybe you have a set of subpages under about, like about our history, about our team, about our board of directors. Well, that's not a great way of thinking about keyword research or about mapping keywords to content. This is much better. Look at that. You start broad, and then you go focused and even more focused and even more focused. By the way, these slides will be available. I will email everybody who opts in. I'm going to give you some cool free gifts at the end. So everybody who opts in, I'll also follow up with an email with these slides. And I also gave them to Mete to distribute as well. So get very narrow at sub-pages, but broader at higher level pages such as the home page, rather than thinking in terms of your site structure. And then the 4th key element is, of course, the keyword research. Now we're digging into the details. We're using the tools, and we're obtaining information around what's popular and getting keyword suggestions, ideas. We're differentiating topics or entities from actual keywords. And this is important because you're looking at individual keywords when we're doing a rankings tracking report, or when we're loading keywords into something like Rank Ranger or Stat Search Analytics or Authority Labs, which these are all rankings trackers. But what we are not doing is we're not just thinking about these words at the individual level, like the singular versus the plural, and et cetera, et cetera. We're going broader to topics or entities when we're doing brainstorming, when we're trying to determine what we're going to write about. We're also looking at trends like seasonality or trends during the week or even during the day. Geographic variance, because that varies wildly depending on the keywords. And then competitors and your industry. So let's look first at some keyword brainstorming tools. These would include the obvious Google search box. And you might think, well, that's pretty simplistic, but my daughter, who did that Neopets blog, she started here just to figure out what her site structure would be. She did not know that she should have a Neopets Dailies section to her site, or a Neopets Avatars section, or Neopets Cheats. She actually named her site the Ultimate Neopets Cheat site because Neopets Cheats was so popular at the time as a keyword. So she used this to identify the sections of her site. And then there's this tool called Suval. Who's ever heard of Suval before? Okay, so surprisingly few of you. Let me show you what that looks like. I love this tool. So this is Suval. Let me blow that up. All right, check this out. Give me a keyword. Oh, why did it not? Oh, right, hold on. Now you see it. There we go. Okay, give me a keyword.
SEO.
SEO, okay. Give me a softball there. Okay, so that shows like the top 10 suggestions, not only from Google Suggest, but also Yahoo Search Assist, YouTube Suggest, etc. Bing, Answers.com, Wikipedia, Amazon, all simultaneously. So as I start typing, look at that. It continues to autocomplete. And these are all clickable. So if I click over here on SEO tools on Amazon, that will take me to the search results on Amazon for SEO tools. So that's pretty cool. And it's free.
Does it work in Danish?
I don't know. Never tried. Let me know.
It does.
It does. Okay, awesome. Uber Suggest. Who's used Uber Suggest before? Good. Everybody should use it. You get reports out of it, like you can export the data out of it. So then what are you going to do with that export file? Any ideas? What do you do with the export file from Uber Suggest? So you type in SEO and then it iterates through the alphabet, SEO A, SEO B, SEO C, SEO D, and then gets suggestions, etc., all the way through to Z. What do you do with that export?
Keyword planner.
Keyword
Planner.
Keyword planner, yep. You could input those in the keyword planner for the actual search volumes. What else? Categorize them, yep. One thing I do with them is I'll take that file and I'll dump all those keywords into Stat Search Analytics or Rank Ranger. And then what Stat Search Analytics will do is it will tell me a whole bunch of data points around that keyword, and it will start tracking those keywords for me, see if I rank for any of them. And I can put in competitors and see if they're ranking and where they're ranking. So that's just one quick example. Answer the Public. Who's familiar with that tool? Who actually uses it? Mike uses it? Okay. So this is one where, let me show you a couple of ways that you can use this data. All right, so I love this guy. He just starts picking his teeth and stuff as you're thinking of keywords. All right, so can I get a different keyword? Oh, that's right. Got to switch back here to and show. Okay. There we go. There he is. There's the guy. Going to pick his teeth. Who the heck are you? Hurry up. Type your keywords in. I'm getting tired of waiting. Okay, give me a keyword.
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi? Okay. Guy seems kind of aggressive, doesn't he? All right. So we're waiting for the data to load in here. The reason why it takes a while is because it's scraping somewhere. Where is it scraping? Any ideas?
Google and Bing.
Google. Okay, what's it getting from Google? What is it scraping of Google? Google suggestions. Yes, I'm going to give you a book. It's scraping Google Suggest. That's what it's getting the data from. Enjoy, now you got to read it. Oh, here's a hint. Start with chapter 7. That's a great chapter. It's not overly technical. And yeah, it's all about content marketing, link building for SEO. So this is not working right now.
Try the Danish tool storybase.com.
Okay, okay.
Let me try it with the hyphen in there to see if that works any better. Anyway, so you're going to get into the data tab to see all the actual tables of data there, and then you can export this into Excel. And yeah, what it looks like when it does the visualization is something like this, which is pretty cool, but not very useful. I always look in the tabular view. All right, so then we have Search Metrics Topic Explorer. Now I love, love, love this tool. Who's used Topic Explorer before? Okay, so there's only a handful of you. Oh, you guys are in for a treat. Check this out. So this is part of their content experience. I'm going to create a new brief here. All right. Do I still have internet? Let's check. Yes. Oh, I need to re-log in. See, this is the problem with doing live demos. It's always high risk. Come on. Oh. Let's switch to Safari then. Fingers crossed. No! And I told them I was going to demo it live, and they're like, that's great. Yeah. Oh, okay, moving on. So I'll try that again at the end if we have time. But this is what it looks like. You can segment the keywords, and these aren't keywords, these are topics. So like entities. And this is a dynamic visualization. So I can move those little circles, or spheres, and they will snap back into place. Like they're far away from other spheres. The farther they are denotes how outside of the topic space that other entity or topic is. And you can look at seasonality this way, so it color codes all the spheres by seasonality. You can switch to the buyer journey, to the funnel, and see where things are in terms of the buyer journey, like if somebody's in retention versus the research mode, etc. You can look at competition levels, search volumes, all sorts of stuff, all color-coded. And then when you click on one of these spheres, you can explode it and show all sorts of subtopics inside. It's really amazing. Okay, let's see what happens here. Try one more time. Come on. Okay, that's better than before. So let's see if it works here in Safari. Okay. So give me a keyword. Oh, I have to keep switching off this slideshow view, sorry. All right. There we go. We're in, so I need a keyword. What was it? Holiday, okay. Holiday, let's do holidays. Actually, I'm gonna, because I'm an American, I'm gonna use vacation. All right, let's see what happens here. I'm not getting a good feeling though because, okay, now it's working, it's working. Okay, create new page. Watch this. This is so cool, as long as it works. And I think that Safari is technically unsupported as a browser for this particular tool, but I'm playing it dangerously. Okay, so check this out. Look at this. So I am now looking at semantic associations. They're color-coded based on how they're grouped together. If there are similar topics, they're going to be in the same topic space. That's going to be one color versus a different topic space. So let's look at vacation holidays, for example, is in a different topic space than cheap vacations or best vacation deals. See, best vacation deals and cheap vacations are pretty similar to each other. They're different topics, though, and we can explode those out. Let's go ahead and take cheap vacations, click on that, and we'll expand the topic. Watch this. Done. Okay. Inside of cheap vacations, we have subtopics such as cheap vacation deals and last-minute vacation deals and Mexico vacation packages. There's a whole bunch of cheap vacation subtopics. And now we can start adding these. So I'll start clicking on some of these. Let's take cheap vacation deals. Let's add that. We're going to select that as a topic. Let's take best vacation deals. Select that topic. And how about vacation getaways? Select that topic. So now I've got 3 topics in addition to my original, which was vacation. I'm going to go ahead and go to the content editor. You're wondering, well, what do I do with this? That's cool for brainstorming, but I want actual application of this. I want numbers. I want to know if I'm writing good content or not. I want to know if the content I wrote is good. Ooh, they have a Word add-on. That's nice. So look, I have a content editor. And inside that content editor, as I start typing, so let's do cheap vacation deals of a lifetime. Okay, and then we start writing some stuff like cheap vacation deals that will blow your mind, blah, 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 blah. And as I'm writing, it's adjusting my content score, my readability score, my, what else? Word count. And it's showing here over on the sidebar, must have keywords based on those topics I selected, additional keywords, recommended keywords, and then it's putting green checks when I've used those keywords. If I haven't used it, then it's showing as grayed out. If let's say I've put in a whole page of content, there's going to be ones that show up in red now because I didn't use them, or I way overused them. And it shows the number of occurrences over in that third column, right over here. So it's recommending one use, and I didn't have any. If I put 10 uses of it, then it's red, and it's saying, whoa, you way overused it, it's 10 out of 1. Isn't that cool? You could take, let's take somebody else's page. Let's do a search for vacation deals. And we'll take this page here. No, I don't like this page. How about this one? I'm looking for content. Give me some content. No, it's not real content. That's okay, whatever. I'm just going to copy and paste it. So ready? Check this out. So instead of this line of copy, I'm going to paste in an entire article. Look at that. It's a really cool editor, and it's now going to start running its calculations. Ta-da! Look at the left-hand column. Overuses, underuses, got it just right. That's how you should be writing content in a content editor that has some smarts to it. So that was risky to do a live demo, but we pulled it off at the end. If you know anybody from Search Metrics, don't tell them that we had some hiccups. That would be embarrassing for me. Yeah. All right, now let's go into hardcore keyword research tools where we're actually getting numbers.
I know this tool doesn't really give you numbers. Google Trends gives you percentages, but it's a kind of a number. By the way, did you guys know that there's a keyword research tool that gives you YouTube search data? YouTube is the #2 search engine, right? Don't you want to have YouTube-specific search data? Like who is searching and what sort of volumes on YouTube? Does anyone know of such a tool? Keywordtool.io? No, that one doesn't really give you. I mean, it gives you data based on YouTube suggest, which is not that useful. Yeah. Google Trends, yes. You're a plant because I was sat next to you during lunch, and so I already told you. But I was going to give a book away, and you already got a book.
No.
You didn't get one yet? Okay, come afterwards. I'll give you a book. So Google Trends has a feature in it
To do YouTube-specific mining. So here's how it works. It's really simple. So let's go to here it is, Google Trends. So I'm going to compare two keywords. Let's do kitchen electrics and kitchen appliances. Now by default, it's going to do a web search of Google data, but I want YouTube data. So see this over here in web search? Change it to YouTube search. That's it. Now we can get YouTube-specific search data. Remember, it's not hard numbers, these are percentages. That's the big problem with Google Trends. But I can compare keywords now. That's so awesome. Because when the keyword tool, the YouTube keyword tool went away, that was devastating. Even though the tool was kind of junky, it was really better than nothing. Okay, so the Google Keyword Planner, that's a great tool. I love the Moz Keyword Explorer. So here, we're gonna run out of time here if we don't do this fast. So let me just run through all of these different tabs to show off things like, okay, this is Moz Keyword Explorer, and I put in a keyword already, I've logged in. I bet you didn't know this. You can go to keyword suggestions, and if I wanted to get question-based keywords, right? So answer the public is great for question-based keywords. Who, what, why, when, where, etc. But look at this. I can choose our questions from this list of options of just to narrow down my keyword suggestions. Isn't that handy? So now we're getting only question-based, in this case, nanotechnology-related keywords that we can use for our frequently asked questions page, that we can use for featured snippets targeting. That's pretty cool. Then we have the Google AdWords Keyword Planner, which I hate personally. It's not really a good SEO keyword research tool, and here's why. There's this great article from Moz, Google Keyword Planner's Dirty Secrets. Anyone read that article before? Yeah, just a handful of you. Read this article, and that will change your mind about using the Google AdWords Keyword Planner. Like the rounded averages, the bucketing they do, you're not getting real numbers. Okay. So that's Moz Keyword Explorer. And here's, of course, the Google Search Console. Now, the beta looks much prettier and goes way back farther in time. But here's a quick way to do some keyword mining for a particular page. See if you guys knew to do this. Of course, we're going to turn on impressions, CTR, and position. But let's say that we want to go to look at a particular page. Let's say the home page. We want to mine, in this case, the keywords that are bringing people to the home page. So I go to Pages. I choose the home page from the filter list. I go back to Queries. And now I've got just keywords that drive people to the home page. That's pretty handy, and you can do a very similar thing with this tool, the new beta. You just go to Pages, click on the URL that you want. Now it's in the filter list above. You switch back to queries, and boom. These are all keywords that are bringing people to a particular page on your site. So one last tool I'll show you is SEMrush. And this one here, I've pulled in Zappos.com, looked at organic research positions, and here's a huge list that I can export. 1.7 million keywords that I could export. But now, here's something that I bet you didn't know. You can get the featured snippets where they have attained a featured snippet position, get that keyword list. Does anybody know how to do that? Just a couple of you? That's it? Okay. It's this easy. Click on the featured snippet word right over on the side there. Boom. So instead of 1.7 million, now we're down to 9,000. But these are all featured snippets. Isn't that awesome? Then you can click on the SERP preview column here to see what it look like. Now, bear in mind that featured snippets are very volatile. So they'll change very quickly, within hours potentially. You might lose a featured snippet within a few hours of getting it. But it's a huge, huge opportunity. So those are the tools, and then I promised you a really cool giveaway, so I'll jump to that, and then we're done. So those are the tools. Oh, and then Stat, we don't have time to show it to you, but this is a really cool tool. Some gifts. So if you go to stephanspencer.com/SEO day, so everybody go there now, get your phone out or your laptop and go to stephanspencer.com/SEO day, and these are the cool things you're going to get. You're going to get Chapter 7, which is the best chapter to start with for the art of SEO, about content marketing and link building. Get my SEO Myths white paper, my SEO hiring blueprint, so how to hire great SEOs. It's a 7-step process. And then the SEO BS detector, so how to tell if somebody is blowing smoke and they don't really know SEO. There's some great trick questions in there you can slip into interviews. All right, so that's the cool stuff. And I promise I will follow up also with the deck from this too. If you wanted to reach me, there's my contact details. Thank you very much.
Tak til Stephan Spencer. Og som det sidste i dag, så skal jeg bede alle indlægsholdere fra dagen om at komme herop på podiet, hvor vi så skal høre et hemmeligt tips fra dem hver som afslutning på konferencen. Værsgo. Så skal vi høre, har vi Tina her? Hvor er du henne, Tina? Secret tips from the speakers of today.
Can we open the door? It's so fucking hot in there. Sorry, that's pretty loud. I'm opening the door. Oh.
Indlægsholderne, de har nu hver et minut til at komme med et hemmeligt tip. Og konceptet det er, at vi ikke fotograferer eller tweeter eller fortæller videre. I 30 dage har vi lovet hinanden. Og vi tager det bare fra herhenne fra nummer 1 i køen. Og det er fint. Så værsgo.
Jeg starter med, at vi har tit problemer med, at man har websites, skal finde ud af, om der er duplikeret indhold. Og en af de nemme måder at lige tjekke det på, det er, hvis man er i tvivl, lav søgeresultater på Google, de sider, hvor man har en skæv URL, prøv lige at trykke på den kassede version, og så prøv at kigge op i toppen, og så se, hvad er det for en URL, den reelt peger på. Fordi den kan sagtens have skiftet, således at den ligger på den rigtige URL, men viser et andet billede af virkeligheden. Så det er ved at gå ind og bruge sin kasse, prøv at se, hvad er det for en URL. Kontroller den i forhold til den URL, som vi kommer ind på. Der kan altså være en vision, der er nogen siger, den har ikke lavet den rigtige vildræk, men det har den altså rent faktisk. Den har opdaget, at den ligger der, og derfor vil den også fremstå i den kasseversion med den rigtige URL. Ja.
Yes. Mit råd det er baseret på reputation management principper. Hvis man er ekspert inden for et område, og det er jo flest af jer, så skal man sørge for at fortælle, at man faktisk er ekspert på området. Og Google kan faktisk godt lide, at man selv fortæller, at man er ekspert. Og hvis andre så også bekræfter den ekspertise, så får man meget højere rankings meget hurtigere.
That was a really good one, I think. Yeah, best one yet. Okay, so this one's about featured snippets. How do you steal a featured snippet from your competitors? You saw a little bit of how to get the featured snippet list of a competitor using SEMrush. Right now, what are you going to do with that list? You want to identify the weak snippets, the ones where it's not in the proper format. What would be the proper format? Well, let's say it's a how-to query, like how to boil an egg. The best kind of format for that kind of featured snippet would be to have it as a numbered list. So you take that numbered, well, let's say it's not a numbered list, but it should be. That would be the best answer, the best format. Let's say it's a paragraph snippet instead. So you want to use either write your own little script to do this, or use Amazon Mechanical Turk, it's like an army of people to determine if these are in the right format or an improper format, and then if the answer is not a very high quality answer, those are the weak snippets that you're going to go after and steal. And if you are on page 1 for that listing, for that keyword already, you do have a shot at it. Surprisingly, fewer than like 30% of the featured snippets are taken by position number 1. There you go.
Jeg talte om local search, og en af de ting, jeg talte om, var blandt andet, at der er kommet nogle nye små links i local search-boksene, som hedder location words. Og rigtig mange virksomheder har ikke de her urler endnu, men det kan skyldes, at man ikke som virksomhed har mulighed for at få dem. Men hvis man går ind og finder nogle andre virksomheder, hvor det er, så kan man bare ændre sin kategori til en af de her virksomheder, og så prøver de stille og roligt op bagefter. Og det er jo sådan set meget rart. Og så en anden lille krølle på den. Der er rigtig mange muligheder for at få sine ændringer igennem på Maps og Local generelt. Og det får man meget hurtigt igennem, når man er har et højt level på en eller anden måde. Og en af de måder, man får et højt level, det er ved for eksempel at uploade en masse billeder. Så når I ikke har lavet noget, ikke har noget at lave i morgen eller i aften, eller hvad det nu er, så går ned ad hovedgaden, så tager en masse billeder af alle butikkerne, så bliver det meget hurtigt, meget højt.
That was a good one too.
Okay, SEO-folk er jo generelt klogere og smartere og smukkere end PPC-folk. Yes! Men jeg synes, at vi er også lidt dogne, og jeg synes, der er en ting, vi kan lære af PPC-folk. Det er jo sådan set den samme sær, vi kæmper om. Hvor PPC-folk tit tester deres headlines og sådan noget. Så skriver SEO-folk generelt en title og metabeskrivelse, sørger for, at deres keyword er i, og så gør de ikke mere, så er det job done og videre til næste opgave. Og der er virkelig meget, hvis man korrekter sin click-through rate bare fra, lad os sige, fra 8 til 10%, så er det altså 25% mere trafik. Så test med at sætte priser i titlerne. Prøv at køre Black Friday eller kampagner i titlerne. Vi havde en webshop, en sportswebshop, som lavede et script, hvor de kunne hive priserne op i titlerne, så de kunne ændre dynamisk. Der er kæmpe muligheder her, og jeg ser ikke særlig mange gøre det.
Sure. Okay, so a couple. So first one, just the link score tool is available for you to try. There's no one else that have access to this right now, so this is exclusive for you guys. vervesearch.com/link score. You need SEMrush and Majestic API to be able to use it for now, but it does mean that it's free and you can use it for the next few weeks without any problems. If you have any problems with it, don't email me. Email Louise at vervesearch.com. She would love that. Also, while you were talking, because I did understand you actually, I was just thinking there's one thing that is very much worth doing in SEO, that if you have a SERP where there are no other rich snippets like review snippets, like for example in hotels kind of vertical, and no one has review snippets, and you have you actually implement the review snippets. The click-through rate on that shit is amazing. So even if you are ranking number 5 on any hotel terms and you have the actual review snippets, you are likely to get more click-through than the first position simply because your eye will be drawn to it. Like I've seen this with Expedia a few years back, where we were the only ones that had this in the listings, and we got much higher actual click-through than we did on first position previously. And I know that the results here might be less for snippets, so definitely try that one.
Hej. Mit hemmelige tip det er egentlig en super god måde, som jeg tror ikke så mange bruger til at få idéer til mit indhold, det er at gå ind og scrape social media kommentarer. Du kan for eksempel, hvis der er nogen, hvis man er i opskriftsbranchen, gå ind og scrape Dr. Løfker og deres 400 kommentarer på deres jordbærtærte, og så kan man få masser af nyt idéer til indhold, man kan udvikle. Man kan for eksempel bruge et Chrome extension som data scraper til at hente det her ned. Og ja, det er
Så er vi over i afdelingen for dirt, tips og tricks, og jeg har lavet nogle eksperimenter, og det her, jeg er nødt til at forklare det hurtigt, så I må skulle spesøre det, så må I kontakte mig senere. Jeg har fundet ud af, at hvis man laver et lille skript på sin hjemmeside, som ændrer et tegn i title tag, hver gang siden bliver besøgt, og så sætter man forsinkelse på 10 minutter, og har du meget besøgt side, så står der konstant at skifte. Og du samtidig bruger Google Sitemap XML på din hjemmeside, så bliver dit sitemaps publiceringsdato for den enkelte URL, det bliver opdateret ved 10 minutter, og så får du karakter af et news site, i hvert fald på den pågældende URL. Det betyder, at du kan 5-8 doble din crawl-frekvens på den her URL. Og hvis du så samtidig sørger for på siden, og det kan man jo skrive, og det er jo ærligt, det er jo ikke for at svinde, siden senest opdateret den 24. januar kl. 18.45, hvis det er det der tidspunktet. 10 minutter efter, så vil der stå kl. 18.55, og der vil være ændret et tegn op i sidetitlen, og Google siger det, og så kører det, og det virker.
Kan jeg bede om at trække lidt herover, så vi kan få alt op på podiet?
Det er sådan en, der altid er svær at slå. Jeg havde en situation, hvor vi arbejdede med et realkreditinstitut, som havde helvedesproblemer med at få førstepladsen på boliglån. Kan jeg lytte mig bag i? Skal jeg lige starte forfra? Okay. Vi havde et samarbejde med et realkreditinstitut, som havde meget svært ved at få førstepladsen på boliglån. Vi prøvede at hjerne så mange links ind vi kunne, og de havde været et andet bureau på os, som også hjernede så mange links ind vi kunne, og MyBank var 1 og 2. Så det er den. Vi ville godt prøve noget andet. Så tog vi de 2 bedste performende AdWords-annoncer, og så genererede vi en metabeskrivelse ud fra det. 2 dage efter lå på førstepladsen.
Jeg havde egentlig tænkt mig at nævne noget andet, men nu hvor vi taler om crawl rates, et lille tip til mange af dem, der ikke ved det, og det er faktisk også gået bredt nogle andre steder i meget nørdede kredse på nettet, at inde i Search Console er det faktisk muligt at gå ind og justere en crawl rate. De fleste ved det bare ikke, fordi det ikke ligger inde i venstremenu, men det ligger op under konfigureringen af en Search Console. Og jeg har selv testet det på nogle af mine mindre sites, så jeg vil måske være skeptisk med at gøre det på en stor forretning, men prøv at teste af, gå ind og skrue den op. Man kan 100-doble sin crawl rate fra dag til dag ved at gå ind faktisk manuelt op i systemet.
Selvfølgelig skal man have kvalitetslinks, men lad være med at undervurdere volumen. Det er ikke bare nok at få et godt link fra et eller andet medie. Bare lige note til det, jeg skal sige. Lav en sitesøgning på .dk domæner, og så lav en indword-søgning på Buy Viagra. I vil se en masse hjemmesider, som er blevet hacket. Kontakt hjemmesideejerne. Jeg har en indgangsvinkel, de skylder jer en tjeneste. Få et link tilbage.
Mit er også lidt i relation til crawl budget. Det handler ikke så meget om at få Google mere forbi, men mindre forbi. Der kan godt være nogle sider på et stort website, som bliver besøgt rigtig meget, crawlet rigtig meget. Og tippet til ligesom at få Google til at crawle det mindre, er at sætte en 304 statskode ind. Den hedder not modified. Crawlen stadig komme ind, men lige snart den ser den her fejl, eller den her kode, så vil den hoppe videre til den næste link, som den ikke får. Så det er et tip til at skrue lidt ned for det andet, og så kan man bruge for nogle af de sider, som ikke bliver crawlet.
Ja, jeg har talt om outreach i dag, altså hvordan man sender nogle mails ud, så der kommer nogle links til det her super fede indhold, man har lavet. Og den sværeste og sidste ting, som man fejler på typisk, er det her med at forstå modtagerens motivation, rigtig kunne sætte sig i modtagerens sted for de der e-mails. Og der er mit tip, at sæt en time af til det. Når det hele er klart og pakket, og man er helt sikker på, at det virker, så sæt dig ned. Jeg lukker øjnene, tænk over det, sæt nogle hypoteser op, og så videre. Gør alt, hvad du kan for at prøve at finde ud af, hvordan modtagerne af de her mails, de virkelig er motiveret. Og når du så har nogle hypoteser om det, så prøv at ringe ud til nogle modtagere og fisk efter det. Og det er ikke altid, man kan spørge folk, hvad de selv er motiveret af, men så kan man altid spørge, hvad de tror, deres kolleger er motiveret af, og så får man sandheden alligevel.
I apologise if I repeat something someone else has said, because I don't really know. But my quick tip actually would be log file analysis. It's something that up to maybe 18 months, 2 years ago was just scary, and I couldn't even comprehend to use terminal or something like that to be able to do things. But there are lots and lots of ways now. There are various tools online actually that you do log file analysis for free. There's a couple of ones that you snippet on your page, like kind of like Tag Manager, and you can actually start getting free log file analysis going on. If you want to answer questions about crawl budget, if you want to know why certain pages aren't being indexed, if you want to know things like why Google is actually mostly crawling my FAQ page or my terms and conditions because you link to on every single page on your website, log file analysis will often give you a really good answer.
Hej og tak. Og shit, mit hemmelige tip, det er blevet sagt. Hvad gør jeg så? Ved I hvad? I får sgu mit bedste tip. Skide af det. I får det. Jeg hedder Stephan Spencer, og nu skal I prøve at høre her. Google har sendt jer en meget vigtig mail for nylig. I har alle sammen fået den. Måske i går, måske i dag. Og den mail, den fortæller jer om det her nye Google Search Console. Gå ind i det. Sindssygt fedt. Lige pludselig så har I ikke bare 3 måneders keyword data, men I har faktisk 16 måneders keyword data. Og det er ikke noget, vi skal til at få nye data, men vi kan faktisk gå ind i dag og så se det op til 16 måneder. Og hvorfor det er fedt? Det er sindssygt fedt, fordi vi vil alle sammen gerne hjem herfra at gøre 2018 til det bedste år i Google. Så vi skal planlægge året i år, have inspiration til sæsonen, hvad skal vi gøre, hvad skal vi lave, jamen så er det super fedt at så kunne gå tilbage og så se, hvad søgte folk på, da det landede på mit site, januar, februar, marts, april og så videre sidste år. Der er nok nogle ting eller noget, I kan arbejde videre på, nogle lavthængende frugter, som I kan bruge i år. Så det var mit tip. Ja, mit tip det handler om, i forhold til mobile first, at den her gamle praksis med, at man går ind og fjerner store dele af ens menunavigation, når man slår over på den mobile versionering til ens website. Det kan blive et kæmpe stort problem for rigtig mange websites. Er det sådan, at du har et website, der fungerer 100% mobil, jamen så vil Google slet ikke kigge på din desktop-version. Så det er meget vigtigt, at man lige finder ud af, har vi alle de vigtigste sider i vores menustruktur på mobilversionen, eller bliver det sådan, at de her sektioner bliver fuldstændig usynlige? Alternativt kan man sige, man kan godt have links liggende rundt omkring i brødteksten til de her vigtige kategorier, men har man dem ikke med i navigationen, jamen, så kommer der en meget skæv fordeling af PageRank til de forskellige sider. Det vil sige, at man fortæller os Google, de her sektioner i menuen, vi har fjernet ud, det kan underkategorier osv., de er ikke særlig vigtige for os. Og potentielt set kan de blive fuldstændig usynlige. Så det er værd at holde øje med.
Som Risa, jeg har snakket lidt omkring Google Tag Manager. Når I sidder og har kampen med udvikleren om, at der er en vis opgave, der skal udvikles først, og I gerne vil have muligheden for at ændre jeres sidetitler, eller have muligheden for at sætte noget indeks på, eller lave redirects, eller whatever, så kæmper udvikleren jo så med, at han også skal lave integration til ERP-systemer og alt muligt mærkeligt, så jeres opgave er kommer først. Log ind i Google Tag Manager og skriv det via JavaScript og skyd det ud. I gør det efter dom til jer, der er teknisk og ved, hvad det er. Google forstår det. I kan ændre sidetitler, I kan sætte canonical, I kan lave no-index, I kan whatever you want ved Google Tag Manager. Så brug det.
Hej, jeg hedder Nikolaj, og en af de ting, jeg er mest træt af at se rigtig mange kunder og rigtig mange virksomheder, det er, at man hopper ind, og så kommer man glip af en masse aktivitet, fordi man ikke får viderevægtet gamle links. Så hvis ikke I har brugere og har Ahrefs, så skal I have det i jeres værktøjskasse. Det gør det, at I tester jeres website ind, så hopper I ned under Best by Links by Page, og så sorterer I på 404 sider, og I skal gøre en gang i måneden, for at være fuldstændig sikker på, at der ikke er nogen gamle links, der er spildt. Det er de nemmeste links, I kan få, og det skal altså bare spille. Så ligesom I koder med skylden for, så skal I altså også være sikre på, at der ikke kommer eksterne links til at site, der rammer en 404 side.
Tak. Grosen Friis, og det her det er egentlig lidt forlængelse af det, Nikolaj sagde. I tilfælde af, at du skal skifte website, nye uger eller ny domain, så er det ret fedt, at man faktisk kan tjekke sine redirects, før man launcher. Og det kan du både gøre manuelt, via at klikke direkte i Så sker der det, når du sidder på din egen lokale maskine og klikker Google, så ryger du over udviklingsdomæne og ser, de reader ikke rigtigt. Og du kan også via Screenshot, fordi du køber din egen maskine, nå de der 14.537 urter ind, du har readbacks for, i Google-tid, og et andet, og så kan du tjekke, at de alle sammen reader væk rigtigt. Før du gør ret. Det er en rigtig god sikkerhed at have med.
Og jeg så Rosin i pølsen. Jeg hedder Torben Rue. Jeg taler om voice search, og jeg fik noget skyld med, for nu kommer der et søg på Google. Keyword shitter 2. Det er ikke mig, der har fundet på navnet. Det er en fantastisk måde at få rigtig, rigtig mange søgeord på. Og når jeg siger shitter, så mener jeg det. Det er vældig med.
Bliv endelig på scenen, indeksholdere. Tak til jer. Skal vi ikke lige give dem en hånd? Jeg kan jo ikke lade med at tænke på, hvor egentlig ret enestående det er, at vi kan samle næsten hele Danmarks SEO-branche til sådan en dag som i dag. Og der kunne jo ikke være nogen SEO-dag, hvis ikke denne her branche, de mennesker, der er i den, var villige til at komme sådan en dag til Kolding og bidrage på den måde, som de gør her. Det synes jeg er en fantastisk form for fællesskab. Jeg er sikker på, at mange af jer I slås måske i hverdagen om de bedste kunder osv., men I også virker til at være rigtig gode venner og deler viden osv. Det er rigtig dejligt, at opleve det. Så jeg synes egentlig, at vi lige skulle slutte af, at vi går ud og får en øl eller vand eller svin med at få taget publikum. En friske på det. Ja. Så jeg kunne bare tænke mig, at vi trækker lidt sammen på scenen, og måske 3 rækker, så vi kan følge alle sammen i billedet. Good picture. Og imens at vi tager det, så skal jeg minde jer om, at udenfor her, lige om et øjeblik, der er der nogle snacks og lidt at drikke, og jeg håber, at I bliver et stykke tid og bruger lejlighed til at tale med både indeksholderne og hinanden. Jeg vil gerne sige tak. Ikke alene til indeksholderne, men til alle jer, der kom her i dag. 204 mennesker, der arbejder med søgemaskinoptimering. Det er super sejt. Tak fordi I kom. Jeg håber, I har fået en masse mere hjælp.
Well, let's go through with all these. That's all right. I think there was too much traffic to the website.
Stephan Spencer.com /SEO.
Yeah, that's right. Really didn't know the traffic. Trying to go there. Not there. Have them here, or?
Yeah, so you just put your
You have them here.
Well, the chapter 7 is PDF and all these things are PDF. All right,
We're not going to grab the charger adapter back though.
Yep. Give you a
Oh, that's very cool.
I'll sign it too. So,
Very nice.
Yes,
yeah, the chargers.
It's cool as long as long as it did the job. That was the main thing.
Thank you so much for letting me use that. That was
more than welcome for that.
Yeah. Lifesaver.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that, but there we go. Just letting a guy charge it.
Yes, you need to transport it back.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is this gonna fit in my luggage? That's the question.
I'm thinking like he brought that into Denmark, and there's like there was a
lot
lot
of them.
Yeah, I'm thinking like actually the tax authorities are not bringing like 160 pounds worth of goods from outside of Europe.
Oh really?
Christian, right? Nils.
I was in order a few days.
Okay. Niels, right? Exactly.
And a 2-hour drive and a 2-hour back to
You got a 2-hour bonus training session at a conference.
It's going to be great company on the ride home. Sleeping.
Got up at 5 this
There you
morning.
go. Enjoy it.
I
Safe
was
travels back
on
home.
a 4 yesterday
Thank you.
morning to get the flight to get over here. Oh, I'll take a signature first.
All right. Yes, you can sell it for more on eBay then.
Yeah,
Thank you as well.
Oh no, thank you very much, man. Have a lovely, safe trip back.
You too.
Cheers, man. That's awesome. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for the copy. And if I could just say, I really enjoyed the talk. Thank you very much. Are you going to come out for a drink and go
I
through
will.
with us, sort of thing?
I will.
I'll have a chance to chew your ear off a bit later.
All right.
Then.
See ya.
Thank you.
Yes. And you're hoping the audience is able to come with you. You can't necessarily explain them.
You have to change the subject.
Yeah.
5 minutes beforehand.
Yeah, you're thinking as your tip. I was like, because the sounds related to what you were talking about yesterday. I know that's really cool. Let's go and do this. Yeah. I do. I want to learn the voice of stuff. It's really interesting. Yes, you get all the stuff. That sounds nice. Sounds fascinating. You can have
Yeah. So this goes. I hope that they're not They'll figure it out.
No.
What's that? It didn't really work that well. So, yeah. Oh yeah, I do need to grab those. You can just set them over there. Yeah.